from the bottomless pit. But my hands was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help me sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Yes, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Yes, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing this song of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. You know, it's amazing that we have two Bob Marley as anthem for One Jumpstart and Thursday night. It shows you how profound these songs are. Because so far, everything we discuss on a Thursday night, a topic live, has to do with mental freedom. And a lot of people hold themselves hostage, hold themselves in baggage mentally. And if we can just break free from that, we will be all right. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Not the prime minister, not the pastor, not the apostle, not the bishop, not even God. None but ourselves can free our mind. Why a lot of people remain in a mental bandage? Because they're afraid of the atomic energy, that's the physical energy, that spiritual energy, an outburst. They can't take the shame, the disgrace. They don't want nobody come up against them. Fear keeping many people in bondage. Fear. That's why a lot of people not talking out. A lot of nonsense going on now with this homeschool, online school thing. And we don't hear nobody come out and talk about getting it straight. We don't hear none of the parents just going through frustration. They're the children at home going through the frustration and nobody not speaking out. But yet still we see Mr. Bill Gates is coming out on interviews and all of these things telling people that until 7 billion people is vaccinated, life can't be normal. You see what I'm saying? How are we going to sit back and listen to this and have nothing to say on our children account? We have been through the system. We tasted life. We've been through it and done that. Our children, they are toddlers. Who going to speak out for them? We're afraid to talk because we don't want to be arrested. We don't want nobody to send hitman after us or put a bounty on our head. We don't want nothing, so we keep our cool. But Marley is saying, emancipate ourselves despite of that atomic energy. Go ahead and emancipate ourselves. And I'm just saying, I'm just elated. Every time I sing that song, it's personal for me. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just thankful to God that before the man died, the man was able to leave such a legacy of collection in music that still speak to today's world. Let me say a pleasant good night, good night, good night to the world, to everyone. Good night to those in England, Japan, China, Hong Kong, America, Canada, Jamaica, and Uknak Nick and Yung Yang Nick, Timbuk 20 and 25. You see the level, good morning and good night to the world, everyone. Ala Uno. Yeah, we are alive and well. You don't know. Me and my co-host, me one with two beautiful ladies. Probably they're beautiful until I get me vexed.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
You know, some people say nice things until people get them up on the queue, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, let me welcome everyone. Please get your popcorn, get your chicken, get your drinks ready. Get anything you have to munch on ready. It's going to be informative. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be an experience on this Thursday night, a topic life with us. And I'm going to give my co-host a chance to open their mouth. Their mouth is working and we're going to hear them. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know which one is starting.
Is he frozen?
It seems so. I don't want to say it's him because maybe it's me. Can you hear me?
This is a frozen.
Oh, okay. So was it me or you?
The player freeze.
Well, the both of us saw you frozen.
Well, you know, say you know, world one smile so long it was like this.
The longest smile in the world?
All right, all right. Good night, and welcome to another edition of our Thursday night Hot Topics Live. I wonder who am I tonight? Am I Althea Marie? Am I Cassandra Couscous? Hmm. Let me see. I think time will tell. Time will tell who this girl is. Yes, yes, yes. So I just want to say welcome, as Pastor Redeem said, get your popcorn and start your watch party. Yes, we're going to make it as fun and as interactive as possible. And if you had some lingering questions from last week and you want to throw them out, any input from last week that you want to throw out there, hey, go right ahead. We just want to make this interactive and we trust and pray that you will have a great evening and there will be something to take away from tonight's program. Blessings.
Yes, and over to Madam Counselor, Counselor Love, Counselor
Right?
Phillips, Counselor Fireball.
Oh
Yes.
Lord. Well, good evening, good evening. Jumpstart family. I am excited. I look forward. I'm rested, so I'm not looking like I'm tired. Hopefully, I'm not. I've been going all day and stuff like that. But I'm glad. I'm really excited about what's taking place, and I'm glad that you can not only be on the other end looking in, but we are in your neighborhood, we're in your bedroom, we're in your head, we're in your heart, we're everywhere in with you. And so you may not have a question that you could articulate, but you can reflect, and that's what we're going to be focusing on tonight. And so we pray and hope that you will, really do that, because that's important to any type of relationship. So you'll be hearing from us later. Good night and welcome.
Amen and amen and amen. I know Minister Garden would like to run through the roll call at this stage. Yes.
Yes, all right, all right. So, first up, we have Alberta Smith. She is saying good night to the Redeem family. Blessing up. Looking forward for tonight. Yes, 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 yes. There might be prizes and surprises. You never know. Yes, and we have Daddy Turbo all the way from Wolverhampton, England. He is in the house tonight. He's saying, greetings to great people of our Father. Pastor Redeem and his right hand and his left hand, Minister Althea and Minister Mary Phillips, and
Choo choo choo.
all the family of God. Greetings, one and all. All right, Rosemary Campbell, she is here. She's saying, good night, God's beautiful people. Blessings, one and all. Blessings to you too, Minister.
They sound like a CC.
No, I meant to say Mrs. Alboyne is here.
But yes, the minister up.
Mrs. Alboyne is here. She said, good night, everyone. Here I am. And she's ready to laugh. You better leave CC alone, Mrs. Alboyne. Leave CC alone. And we have Alicia Beaton. She is here. She's saying, good evening, everyone. So I missed this morning, but I overslept. And somebody said to her, it's okay, sleep happens.
That sound like a human.
Somebody, I'm not going to call any name, but somebody said that. Welcome, Sister Beaton. Welcome, welcome. And Sister Alicia Beaton, do not forget, you and your husband is supposed to come on a Thursday night Hot Topic Live. Remember that Sunday morning in service on Jumpstart? Remember how hot and spicy it was? And remember, you're supposed to continue from there? Yes, we're still looking forward to it. We have not forgotten, just to let you know. We have forgotten.
Amen. I remember.
She is rolling laughing. Yes, so we have not forgotten, and we're going to work on that because it was amazing. It was amazing, and we know that there is.
No, but no, we want the public to know she's a certified counselor as well. So even that morning when she light up that service, I mean, we keep waiting and waiting. So now she have no excuse. Abracadabra. Why? Because she the wish pa she husband take. She
That's
live wish pa she husband live. She
that.
left she left Cayman and the United States of America. So the two of them in the same room, the same bed, probably wear the same clothes.
That will be a nice interview to
Oh,
see how
Yeah,
the transition went from. How long did she stay? Her husband was away with them not living
right?
in the same room.
Quite sometimes. Quite
Uh,
some time. But the part of the relationship, then the part you really want to hear about. Now tell her say, I have met her husband and I want to be like him when I grow up. Serious. It is no, I tell you, even in my own life and marriage, I tend to look at his play and try to implement because he's a fair human being. He is a gentleman when it comes to his marriage. He sacrificed what he needs to sacrifice for his marriage to work. And in spite of it, to make his wife happy. Poor God, when I get old, I want to be like the man. Yes, to the levels. It's reality. Me and him not cut from the same cloth. No. No, but me I start stay close to him. Yes. Mhm.
so Sister Alicia said, yes, as soon as honeymoon is finished, that's when she'll come.
Me banner you alone married. Other people want to get married to so left some moon in the honey and some honey in the moon. Yeah.
Sister Lovelet is here, and Sister Lovelet is saying, good night, everyone. Blessings. Yes, and Joy just jump on board.
She run breathless in a while ago, you know.
Like she's somewhere in the house hearing my voice, and she's saying, she nah go further without calling my name. So let me just run inside here. And she's saying, good night, Pastor Jay, ministers, and everyone. Good night to you, Joy. Good night, and welcome everyone. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, indeed. We really want to welcome you. Please, everyone that your name is called, please to share this video. And yeah, start your own watch party and all of that. You know, Rona ban all fete, ban all party, but Rona can't ban this one. You see the levels? Yes, so please. And Daddy Turbo says, my daughter Joy, baby, Daddy love you, sweetie. Yes. The same boss with the daughter never see. What a lucky thing me got that at home. She said, I just remember hot topics. Yeah, she roll off of the bed. Yes. But we wanted to know that Thursday night at topic is going places. And what we're doing now, it might seem nonsense to some people, but it's not. Trust me. In the little things that we do, you're surprised to see how many persons have been helped, have gotten their answers, and on a better path to life. It's just that we refuse to come one traditional way at all times. No. I like change. If my bed stay one place too long in my bedroom, me vex with it. You see the levels? Yeah, me like changes. Me love changes. You see the levels? And that is why from them take me off of the street. Me no wear one suit of clothes always. You see the levels? Me change them enough. And me beard woolly. Yeah? But when me up on the street, me couldn't beard plenty unless when rain fall. You see the levels? So we want you to share these videos tonight. And not just tonight. I mean, something in this tonight is for someone. That may be in your contact, might be on your page. So every person name that has been called, you are expected to share this video. All right? Because we want God to do what he's doing in others' life. Father, we give you thanks, we praise you, we adore you for who you are. You are God all by yourself. There is none like unto you. Father, we thank you for the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding that we can come together. Lord God, with these like a simple topics, God, I know persons looking for the big ones and the hot ones, but God, there are some persons who are way down below, God Almighty, that need to hear a voice in these here. Their family life that torn to pieces. I spoke to one young woman, Lord God, after last week, and God, she want to know if she's really to just walk away, turn her back on her parents, her mother, or she's to take what is going on and just love them anyway. God, there are persons out there hurting. There are persons out there looking for answers. There are persons out there don't know where to turn or what to do. I pray tonight in the name of Jesus, you will start a healing process. You will start, God, bringing certain things to closure in people's life, mind, soul, and spirit. I pray that you'll touch every one of us, God Almighty, who are here on set tonight. I pray, God, that you'll place within us something to say, God Almighty, that will heal somebody's sorrow. Mighty God, I pray in the name of Jesus that you'll give us the boldness, God Almighty, to speak that which needs to be spoken. Mighty God, that someone can hear and know and be blessed. I pray that you'll touch the heart of your people. Lord God, if never a time before, we ask to give them a heart of flesh is now. Those who are holding on to unforgiveness, those who are hard to take counseling, those who hear counseling and refuse to put it into action. I pray, Father, in the name of Jesus, those who are trusting you by faith to work out their family life and refuse to understand that they have to work for it to work out. I pray, God, that tonight we bind and cramp every distraction from hell, every plan of the devil we distracted, even now in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. God, we put tonight in your hands and we tell you thanks in no other name but in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and our Savior. And somebody give God a big mouth praise because he deserves the glory tonight.
Amen. Praise God.
The views that expressed on tonight, Thursday night at Topic Live, may not be that of yours, yes, but not because it is not your view, it means that it's no view at all. You must understand that whatever we discuss, every one of us, God made us and he gave us a thing called passion. Passion, not compassion, but passion. God gave us a thing called passion. So when we discuss certain things, we will relate through passion. Passion is not to be thrown on the back burner. Passion is not to be pushed on the rug. Passion is how we express ourselves. My passion is not your passion. Your passion is not my passion. That doesn't mean because my passion is not yours, you must come just get boil with mine and kick away mine and think that mine is not important. We give respect to every person that participates in our Thursday night our topic live. That's why we say to you, ask questions. We cannot read your mind. If you don't ask questions, we cannot uh, even begin to start trying to help you. Your question balance Thursday night a topic live. We don't want you to be afraid or ashamed to ask your question. Doesn't matter what it is. Ask it. You might not be asking for yourself. You might ask for somebody else. And if you don't know how to ask for yourself, I can teach you tonight. Ask in the form of a third party. Just say, say, me know somebody where their nose big and their ears big and their belly big and their foot big. Them black like a tar. Yes, and they would like to know. Not no wrong with that. Just ask in a third party. I'm not going to tell you say some of the time we can know, say, ask for yourself, but we keep that to ourselves. You see the levels? So we wanted to get everybody on and let us have a wonderful night tonight. Now I turn over to Madam Council, and her name is Council Agatha.
Council Agatha. All right. So good evening, everyone. Good evening. And Cece, aren't you going to come into my office? I mean, are you outside knocking?
But before I do that, I wanted Pastor Redeem to just say a little bit of what we're talking about tonight. We're talking
Okay.
the me in the mirror.
Okay. Yes. 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 Yes.
A lot of times, like we point the fingers and stuff like that. So you go ahead and talk about that.
Yes.
And
She is right. But I was trying to think of a name, a new name for Madam Counselor. Agatha.
the counselor will know when I'm back.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So as she said, I was so busy trying to think of a new name for Madam Counselor, and I get a drop in my, my head. So she was surprised at her new name, you know. But yes, we are trying to develop a character in the third party. Her name is Cece, Cece Couscous, and she has a lot of problem in her marriage, and she got some good counseling last week. We open that she come better this week. So what we're trying to do, we're talking about the me in the mirror. Last week she was just pointing finger at her husband, everything her husband doing wrong. I don't hear she saying do nothing right last week, right? And we're trying to let people understand that there comes a time you have to pull out that Michael Jackson record and play it and talking to the man in the mirror. Because you have some people go around saying that somebody hurt them. But the truth is they hurt themselves sometimes because they ignore the red flags. The red flags were iced, were given, were shown, and they ignore the red flag. Sometimes they were warned by others and they think they have it in control. So most of the time when they're pointing finger that somebody hurt them is really them hurt themselves. So tonight we are looking through the lens of me talking to me. Yes, I see your faults. Yes, I see your weaknesses. I see your wrongs. I see where you need to become stronger. I see where you need to have more consideration. I see where you need to be more loving. I see where you need to be more tender and kind and all of these things. But put that aside. Tonight we're talking about the me in the mirror. What about you? You're pointing finger at others. Is there a gray spot in your life, a blemish spot in your life, a broken spot in your life? Could it be that you see them as a liar because truth is you lie too? Could it be that you hurt them? They hurt you because you had hurt somebody too, or hurting. You see what I'm saying? So tonight we're really looking at the individual. So we want, as we go along, you look at you. Point finger on you tonight. All right? So I hear the knocking.
Hello, come on in. Come in.
Okay, I'm coming in just now. Yes, Miss Phillips, I know I didn't have an appointment, but I figure more or less it's around your lunchtime and you could see me.
Cece,
So,
Cece, Cece, we know each other after last week's, showdown. No, come on now. The last time we talked about you making an appointment, what's the excuse?
but I know, Minister, but it was so nice that you took the time to see me. And I was afraid that maybe you wouldn't have any appointment open. So I figure I'll come on your lunchtime.
All right, Cece, come on in.
Yeah, you're such a nice lady. I just brought back the flyers for direction. You know, it's saying COVID got you feeling down, feeling stressed out, relationship problem. Boy, last week I had so much relationship problem, tired of staying home, anxiety taking over, tired of expensive counseling. Let's talk about it. And you really talked to me so nice last week. So it's like this week I feel, yes, I feel like a brand new Cassandra Couscous. And I just want to say thank you for everything, Miss Phillips.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Come on in and come and sit right here. I
I'm
have some notes about concerning you, and so for you kind of look different this evening. What you did to your hair?
brand new Cassandra Couscous.
Wow. You sure do look brand new. I have to say, I'm glad that I was able to kind of steer you in the right direction. So, how you feeling today? How you feeling?
I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling energized. I feel like, before we got married, I feel so good. Remember, I tell you things were so good before we got married?
Hmm.
That's how I feel now.
That feeling is back.
Yes, Miss Phillips.
Wow, wow. Well, I am excited to hear what has brought these feelings up. And so I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, if you don't mind, because we know that if we want to look back a little bit, we realize that you came in, you had a million complaints about your husband. You never talk about what input that you put in the relationship, what made him stay away, every day, and that was not his norm. That's not what he did. And so we want to see what has happened with you during this time and the changes. So I've just for the educating the minds of those that are listening right now, I want to give the definition for self-reflect, if you don't mind, Cece. You mind? Do you mind?
No, not at all. Go ahead, Miss Phillips.
Okay.
No,
So
not at all. Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't mind
self
if you do.
all right, self-reflects allow one to look neutrally at one's contribution towards behavior, your example, your emotion, your feelings, your action, and what brought about the self and what allow you to want to think back on some of the things that you have done that you could have done differently that brought on this sudden change in your life. So are you telling me that you went home and you begin to do a self-reflect? Am I correct by
I
saying that?
I did, Miss Phillips. I did. You know, when we were talking, and then the other person said that, he was talking to Mr. Couscous. Like on my way home, I feel so bad because I didn't know that Mr. Couscous was talking to somebody else. And I
Oh,
just thought about everything. And I remember you said that when I go home and when I'm talking to Mr. Couscous, like when he come in, I should say, "Hi, honey."
so you
And
did
I
try
figure
that.
I would try it, and it
So
was.
what happened? What happened when you tried that? Did he smile or did he look shocked? What happened when you did that? She froze it.
He's he smiled. He smiled. He's like, what was that, dear? And I said, well, I just say honey. And he was excited.
So he was shocked. He wasn't used to honey. Okay, so what happened? What's the time frame between when you used to call him honey and then you probably start calling him a different name? Well, how long was that after he started going to church?
It's about a year now.
Oh, so no wonder he's shocked because he haven't heard honey in a long time. I don't blame the man, you know what I mean? So I wonder if he thought, CC, that you were up to something, right? Did you think he thought that?
Well, he know when that I'm genuine because I'm always genuine with him. Because if I'm mad, I show him that I'm mad, and when I
Okay.
say he know that I was mad.
Oh, so he knew that you were genuine. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. I have to hear from Mr. Couscous counselor because he might have said something to him. But before we get to Mr. Let me ask you a couple of questions too. Well, how did you get from point A to point B? Because that's a big gap. You were over here blaming the man, saying is this and that. You want what you all used to have, and all this kind of stuff. You didn't sound like you were willing to contribute to anything, but you just wanted what you wanted. You didn't like the change. What happened?
Well, when somebody can look in themselves, like just look at the me in the mirror, it makes a difference because it's not like I didn't have a love problem because I know I love couscous and I know couscous love me.
Right.
And I know that like I told you last week, I know he's a good man because think about it. How many men is gonna pick up a lady who already have 4 children, right?
True. True.
I know that he's a good person. It's just that I realized that I was just in my own stubborn way. And I figure, well, if I want to change, then it's best to be the change that I want to see.
But Miss Couscous, you know what? I have to change my mind about you because last week I called you crazy. I,
See,
you know, you remember that? I said you were crazy because you were talking crazy. You know what I mean? But you've done a turnaround that is totally amazing. Your husband must have been praying.
yes,
Wow, that is awesome. I'm happy to hear that you're speaking like that.
rem- yes, remember last week I told you that, well, I didn't want to judge, but I told you that I had a feeling. I can't talk too loud, make anybody hear. Remember I told you I had a feeling that maybe he was seeing one of the church girls?
Yes, you did to say that. Yes.
Well, Miss Phillips, it turned out that he was going down to pray every day because he was praying for me.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, it
Wow.
girl.
So when you found that out, what did you say to your husband? Did you confess that you were feeling that way? Did he know that you were feeling that way?
I told Couscous I was so sorry, and me love him can done.
So what he said when he thought that you said when you told him the truth about how you felt?
Well, he said he understand that I might think something because to get up and leave every day and not really explaining where I'm, what I'm going to do, he can understand why I thought so.
Okay, okay. So let me ask you another question, CC, because I like the CC that I'm seeing right now. You're mild, you're relaxed, you're
Wearing a
gonna say
wig.
you're coherent. I mean, things are happening. You have a nice hairdo. Your face looked like you had makeup on. You didn't look crazy. I'm glad. I am so glad that that's happening now. So how could you have been more effective in your relationship before? How could you
Well,
have been more effective?
well, see, the thing, Miss Phillips, is that I was kind of stuck on if something isn't broken, don't fix it.
Right? You sure were.
Like I just feel like he coerced me into getting married when I really wasn't, when I didn't want to get married. But looking into it, it was a good thing that he did because our relationship was great. So I just snapped back into what it was.
Okay. Okay. So now you're seeing that it's not the fact of getting married that created that change in the relationship. How would you reflect on the me within in that situation?
Well, first of all, I have to say I cannot be judgmental. And if there's something bothering my mind, then instead of assuming, I should just ask. Because Couscous and we are open and honest. So if I'm mad, I'm mad. If he's mad, I know he's mad. But we're not gonna lie about anything. We'll just say how we feel. The only thing is the way I used to say how I feel, it comes over offensive.
Okay, let me ask you something, Cece. I'm gonna let you go way back for a minute. Now, when you were growing up at home, were you growing up with two parents, a two-parent home, father and mother, or just one parent? Or did you grow up with
My
a grandma?
grandparents,
Huh? Both?
my grandparents,
Or your grandparents? You grew up
yes.
with your grandparents. Okay, so were you allowed to speak your mind, or did you suppress when you was upset or you wasn't pleased about something? How did you go about expressing yourself then?
We couldn't talk anything, Miss Phillips. We just had to keep, they always tell little children must be seen and not heard.
Okay. Okay. So now you have gotten what changed that? The fact that you suppressed things because it didn't sound like you were doing that with Mr. Couscous. You were just telling him off. What happened?
The minute I grow up and I the minute I grew up and I wasn't with them anymore, I just say it was freedom. I can speak my mind.
Okay. 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 So now, even though you're speaking your mind is out of control, is that it?
That was the problem. But I understand better because you told me last week that I must be nice and I shouldn't be nagging and
Yeah.
I shouldn't be miserable on couscous, and I shouldn't act crazy.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me where it used to be and why, and tell me where it is and why. So you have two questions there. Let me repeat them. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, what it used to be before you came to me first and why it was that way. And now, what is the scale rate on this and why it is? So you have two whys on there.
Before I came to you, Miss Phillips, true, I feel like I was at number two because I was ready to do everything bad and crazy. Remember, I was ready to give up on everything because I was mad. But no, Miss Phillips, me gone back to 10. Oh, I thought that was the girl you was seeing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh my God. Did you apologize to her? Is she in his church?
Well, I didn't tell her, but now I see her. I thought it was she. Because when I went that one time with the seven children, he sat beside she.
Miss Cook, you have to be careful in pointing people. What if that young lady and say that, well, she might retaliate and do something to you? You got to be careful about things like that. You know what I
That young
mean?
lady wouldn't retaliate. That young lady, that right?
What is Mrs. Coco saying about me? Why is she accusing me? Good night, everyone. Good night.
Just say yes.
No. I can't just say yes. I have to know what's happening here. What am I being accused of?
Young lady, you were being accused of probably you were the one her husband was going to church on a regular basis to see.
No, miss,
That's
it's not me. And she know it's not me. You know, see how she laughing?
yeah,
She
she
know
know
it.
that now. Can you see how changed she is? She looks totally different from last week, and I had to apologize to her as a counselor, because I did call her crazy because she is acting crazy.
Last week she did
And
crazy.
I was in my back of my mind, I say, I know why this man is staying away. Who want to be in the house with a nagging woman? I mean, for real, I'm just saying. So tell me the other side, Miss Couscous. Now, the rate where you are and why.
So now we're at number 10, right where we used to be before we got married. I
Okay, so say
and
why?
me
Why?
because you tell me I should be nice to Couscous, and if I have any issues throughout the day, you said that I shouldn't just attack him when he comes in. I should wait and let him relax. And then after he relax, then I can ask him some questions. And
Was that hard to do?
and you also told me that what I needed to do was to make some kind of a schedule for the children,
Yes, yes.
so things are more organized. And Miss Phillips, it's working. It's working.
Really? I'm glad to hear. I am really happy to hear that. But you see, Cece, you know why I like you? Is that although you were on the other side of the fence, you were angry, you didn't like what was happening, you're not very big on change, but you came for help. Most persons, they don't want nobody in their business and they try to figure it out themselves. You know what I mean? So I have to give you a 10 for that. You realized there was a problem. You didn't know whether the problem it was you or your husband, or you having these 7 children and you don't have a job. You guys live in an apartment with 1.5 rooms. That's a lot. You understand what I mean? And so now you went home and you made the adjustment. You start to self-reflect. You start to see probably, okay, what have I contributed to this man leaving and going? And he's saying he's going to church, whereas he was going somewhere to a prayer meeting because he couldn't take the problem no more.
Right,
Right.
right.
So it allow you to self-reflect. Am I correct?
That's correct.
And so you wanted, is it a grade level higher than what you used to have? Or is it at the same level?
Miss Phillips,
Yeah.
Phillips, it's much, much higher, Miss Phillips. You know why?
Why?
Best part of it. I thought about what you said. Remember, Miss Phillips, when you said maybe I should go to church with him and
Yes.
ask him for help with the children?
Mhm.
Well, Miss Phillips, I decide to listen to you. And I tell Couscous, okay, I'm going to come to church with you, but you have to help me with the children.
Mhm.
Phillips, he did because he said, it's the same thing his counselor said. He need to help me with the children.
Wow.
Help me with the children, and we go to church all the time now.
Wow. That's one of the things, CC, with relationship is that persons sometimes only think about how they feel about a certain thing. And they forget that they're not the only one. It's not the me only, we're us. And if they involve other entity into the relationship and listen to people talking in the air, and persons don't know what's going on in their home. I don't know. Now you're going to church. Let me quote you a scripture, Cece, that say the Bible say, leave your father and your mother and you cleave to your wife. You cleave to your husband. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you have problems that both of you don't seem to be able to shake, you find help. In your case, you came for help and you didn't even know he was trying to get help, because that sounded like a man that wanted his family. He wanted the peace that you guys used to experience. What do you say about that?
That's right. You are very right about that, Miss Phillips. You're
Mhm.
very right about that. And I told Couscous I am willing to try to make it work because I know Couscous love me and I love Couscous.
Okay, so is there anything, and I'm asking that question for those that are on sake, is there anything you can do to your relationship, your marriage, that will make loving you easier?
Yes,
Okay,
I think, Miss Phillips, I think the first thing we need to do is to look in ourselves and see where we're going wrong, take ownership, take responsibility,
mhm,
and whatever, and make the necessary adjustment. Because I don't like nobody nag me. Why did I nag him?
mhm,
I don't like nobody judge me. Why was I assuming and judging him? So
right.
when I look into myself, when I walk home, like if I'm out and I walk in, I don't want nobody jumping on me with their problem and, oh, mommy, mommy, this, mommy,
Okay,
mommy, that. I
yeah.
want to sit down and whine first. So when I look in the mirror and I do the self reflection, I look at the stuff that I don't like that
Mhm.
I was doing to honey couscous.
Right, right, right. Well, did Couscous had
And
anything to
realize
tell you? Well, once you were bringing all of these suggestions to him and you're asking for forgiveness and he really saw that you're really honest about what you're saying, what was he saying? What was his response to you? Did he think he needed to make adjustment too, or you were the only one that needed to do that?
He was excited because that's how he managed to tell me that he was actually going to church to pray for me because he want everything to work and he want me to come to church. So everything that he was praying about are the things that end up happening. So the main thing that he was doing is just that he was going to church, and he
Right,
wasn't helping me with the seven pitney them when Sunday morning come.
right, right.
But with them, and now we go church together. So
Together.
not
Oh.
for couscous, but I'm hoping, Miss Phillips, that in the process I can find Jesus just like how couscous find him.
See, and that's the idea. So what would you say to persons that are in relationship that used to be like what you experienced? What would you say to them if they were they're in the same situation like you? What would you say to them as a person that experienced it? You did that, you've been here, you done that, you were selfish, you were accusing, you were name it, and you take ownership. That's what I like about you, CC. You take ownership, you vent, you say what you got to say, and it's better to say what you have to say instead of holding stuff in, right?
Right.
But the key is to when to say it.
When to say
Because sometimes men think you're nagging. If you keep talking all the time, all they're gonna hear is a really young, like a bee buzzing in their head. They wouldn't hear you. You have to choose wisely. You know what I'm saying, CC? The right time to talk to them about certain situation. Especially a man like Mr. Couscous. He sounds like a wonderful man. I hope there's others over there. Anyway, I would your counseling. So yeah, go ahead. So
it,
tell others what do you feel that should happen in their relationship to make it work.
he's a wonderful man, and as long as I'm the honeybee buzzing in his head, bzz, I don't mind. But I'm not gonna be a nagging bee.
Okay. Well, I hope not, Cece, because that pushed men away. You know what I'm saying? His counselor probably can tell you that. And because he must have shared things with his counselor, which is confidentiality, but we're just talking to us right here. There's no one listening. You feel what I'm saying? So it's okay if he, because we're trying to get your relationship better to the highest level. So what would you say to persons that has been in your shoe? What are you going to tell them?
This is what I would say. If you could, you know, be fair enough to acknowledge where you are currently, and because of the fact that I was comparing my past life with the current life being married,
Right.
if you could just look at yourself and say what you used to do in comparison to where the relationship has taken a turn to be now, where the husband is going to church, the main thing is, instead of getting upset, instead of living in the past, just say, you know what, tell me about what you're doing, make it clear so I can understand, because it's proven to be good for you. So chances are it's a better way. So help me to see that, right? And
Right.
when the person is helping you to see the better life that they're bringing you into, be patient with them and
That's a
listen. Listen
that's a main key, Cece.
and
That's a main key.
yes,
Patience.
and listen.
Yes.
You might not like it right away, but if unless you try it, you're not gonna know if you like it at all.
Right.
Because I was, all set and I don't want to go to church. There's so many children to keep together in church. I didn't even know that they had a Sunday school.
Wow. See?
Willing, if I was willing to go with him and say, okay, honey, couscous, okay, show me around. How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna work together? How are you gonna make it happen? If I had a readiness and a willingness to listen to him, be patient with him, and try out what he was suggesting, we wouldn't have reached where we reached. But because I didn't have that willingness to listen, I was not patient. I was all that was clouding my mind is,
What
if
you
something
wanted.
isn't broken, don't fix it. And
Right.
I thought that he was trying to fix us by getting married, and I wasn't ready to be married. But looking at it now from this standpoint, what he was doing as a husband was the best thing for the family.
Wow. I'm so happy for you, Cece, and I'm glad that you are such an example of marriage can work and it takes two. And one of the things is that culturally, sometimes we have different upbringings. We come from different culture. You know what I mean? And merging those two together to make it one, it takes time and patience and love and understanding and communication. And communication doesn't mean that you're running your mouth because you could be talking and nobody hearing what you say. You understand what I'm saying? But when we sit down and we're talking, and I'm glad that you took the advice in scheduling for the children. How did that work? Or did Mr. Couscous like that? Was that you brought that to him or he brought that to you? Which one?
I brought it to him and I let him know that I saw the counselor and this is what the counselor said. And he loved it because when he came home, everything was organized, everything was in place. The children, they were doing their schoolwork. He was not coming into chaos, but he
Mhm.
was coming in to see his family, and it was a great experience. It has been a great experience.
Well, since your husband's counselor joined us tonight, I want to ask him a quick question. Being the male there, right? So, Mr. Counselor, good night. How are you, sir?
Good night, good night. I'm just taking it a day at a time as it's really good to see your client calm down, you know, a brand new head and all of that, you know.
She has
Yeah.
really turned. There's a metamorphosis going on there. She have
Yeah.
changed completely. That's wonderful, and that's to tell you how counseling can help people find their better self. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can't do it yourself. You just need help. I mean, that is bottom line. So let me ask you, Mr. Counselor, what is her husband saying? Because I'm pretty sure he came back to you because he wanted some update and what was going on with him. How important it is, that's the question I wanted to ask you. How important it is as a man. Are you married, Mr. Counselor?
Long time.
You okay? So how important it is for you to come home and you know your wife is home, you both not working, but she's home with the kids, with the children, and you're working, you know, and how important that is to come home and find, things in place, at least you have some food or the place is clean, things are put away. How important it is for that for you?
Uh, for me, to be honest with you, my home is my castle. When I go through my door to the world, I step into a broad zone, a zone that has different components to it. You know, can't wait for the day to done to get home because home is where I relax. Home
Right.
is where I get my thoughts together. Where home is where I am comfortable. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to deal with the outside, what do I call it now, debris. So if I should go out, work, come in, and come home and things out of place, it it add to your misery that you face on the outside.
Okay.
And the me in the mirror, in that context, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm not gonna be lovable. I'm not gonna be smoochy smoochy. I'm not gonna because I mean done batter the wind out there and then come home to batter the wind again. It's just not what a man want,
Mm-hmm.
right? And vice versa, woman. It's not what nobody want. And grow up believing, as the Bible said, man at the head of the family and all of these things. And we all know that a woman, when a woman realize she has the ability to run the home the proper way, that make any man happy. Whether them have money, whether them have a job, whether them have nothing else. Just balance the home. Because the truth is, many of us men might not have the heart to tell them because we don't know how to tell them when they're doing a good job. But we can balance the dollar the way them balance it
Mm-hmm.
when they understand their true rightful position and place. We cannot juggle the things they juggle. At one point, I have a friend that says to me, his wife not do nothing And him wanna go work. And when he come in, his wife just sit down and now do nothing, him have to come in and the stuff. And I said to him, your wife been doing a lot because she get up and prepare you for work.
Right.
That's something she doing. And then after you gone to work, she preparing the children for work.
Right.
That's something she doing. And after she prepare the children for work, she turn onto the house to clean the house. That's something she doing.
Yes.
When she done clean the house, she think about cooking a meal so that when you and the children come home, that's something she doing. So I mean, when you check it up and add it up, she do more work than you doing out there. But that's when a
Yes.
woman understand her rightful place in the home. Me personally, me get cross, angry, and miserable. I am. I tell her the truth. Probably have accounts for me, right? But I believe that as 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 a female, any party, because when I just get married, my wife used to work. I used to just home not doing anything, and this is a true story. And I used to just get down to it, right? It's not something I love to do, but I get down to it. Sit with that the kitchen and the thing clean. Sit with that, you know, laundry is done and all of them stuff. I get down to it. I have brethren that come to my house and think that I'm a boy or a girl clown. I'm gonna put them through my gate, tell them don't come back. Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna take no negative thing in my head. My wife go work, come in tired and have to think about laundry, have to think about the kitchen, have to think about all of them stuff there. I do what I supposed to do. My man up, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. Most of the time, men don't get recognized in these areas because true of a fact, persons know it's not really a man thing. Yeah, but when man do it, man must be applauded. So me, according to your question, when me come in and things this area out of place, me just get silent and quiet and my face stuff up. You know, no, naturally. It just abracadabra and that happen. Yeah. So I mean, when that woman, and that is why Solomon tell you that a wise woman build her house, but a foolish one
Pluck it down.
dismantle it brick by brick with arrogance, with you know,
Right.
pack up in a self-pride and all of these other things. But I am pleased tonight to see that your client take the turnaround. And I notice she's now talking about the she and not him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you realize, listening to her, 99.9% of the problem they've been having, it was really in her head.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
it is happening to a lot of people out there, not just our females,
Mm.
right? I
Right.
remember there was a time in my own marriage, seriously, my own marriage, I thought I was doing everything right. I thought my wife was my enemy. I thought my wife was wrong. Yeah. Until I sit with Reverend Johnston, him said to me, said, boy, Journal, no, sir. After listening to you a while ago, no, boy, Russia, I'm nothing good in her. No, reality speaking. Yes. And we have somebody coming in who is a surprise. Yes. Yes. So it's when I sit down and Pastor Johnson point out some things to me and I start to look in myself. I realize that, you know, so some of the times you're pointing your finger when you should have pointed to yourself. Because the truth is, if you really did answer a bit better than how you answer, you wouldn't get the response you get. If sometimes you just ignore it and just do it instead of sit and wait for her to do it, you would not get so miserable and it would not push your marriage at the place it pushes. So the truth is, just like CC is a wake-up call for every one of us. Yeah, is the problem that we really say we have is stemmed by somebody else or is us. Yeah,
Right.
I started to look within me and see some things I never had the right. Yeah, so you know where I stopped though? I stopped trying to figure out my wife. I stopped trying to try to make her over. I stopped trying to bend her to my will. I stopped trying to bend her to my way. If I can't get it done and if she not do it, me find somebody to do it. You know why? Because at the end of the day, buck stop with me. And I'm not going to be the problem in my marriage no more. I'm not going to be the problem in nobody friendship with me no more. You see the levels? I oftentimes tell people, if me and my friends or me and my wife is going to part company, it must not be because of me. Yeah, it must not be. And CC set a prime example that if we should look within ourselves, why do man really get married, miserable? It's because he's miserable. how you drive him to become miserable. Why the man neglecting his duty? Is it that him workless? Or because you push him to neglect his duty? He don't want to do nothing. He don't even want to come home. Yeah? Is it that the man mean and inconsiderate? Or you just want more that, she's here, she's here, she's here, she's here. It's just reality. I look at a comment that Alicia has made, that she made earlier. She made a comment, said that it looks like the relationship have a communication problem, right? And I want to ask her to liberate on that because she been following CC program from then, right? I know you asked me a question, but my eye was just fixed on what Alicia Beaton said earlier when she says it look as though the relationship has a communication problem, right? And most of the time, in all fairness and truthfulness, communication is what? And a lot of people think communication is just with words, but our body language
Yeah.
inside the home between each other. It's the levels. So let me answer your question, Madam Counselor.
Yeah, you sure did. You sure did. And you really highlight a lot because with based on men, we even though Cece had all the kids, and one of the things I love about Cece that she follow instruction, because most time people will go to counseling and they would not do what the counselor asked them. And so when
After
they
I
come
hear
back,
you call her crazy, she must follow.
but I did apologize. So she knew why I called her crazy, and she understood, because she was kind of thinking about me, 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 me. She didn't want change. She wanted things the way it was. If you don't fix, if you don't break, don't fix nothing. I want, when my husband, I don't want him in church. I don't want, and she don't realize that she is missing the whole picture here. That this
That is
man,
why
yeah,
I respect you as a counselor. A counselor have to get to a place where they front up to the client, knowing that is either you're going to go through that door and don't come back. But I got to level with you. And that's what Pastor Johnson did for me. There are times I feel like I want to take him up and put him through my gate. They can't tell me some ugly truth in my house. So
yeah,
don't image here. And the truth is, 90% of the time when we call for counselor, we want counselor to take our side.
yep,
We
exactly.
want counselor. So let us welcome Alicia. Alicia Beaton. We're barging on our honeymoon.
Alicia, a fellow counselor. Let's hear what you have to say.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
No, one of the thing that good night, everybody. One of the thing that draw my attention, what Cece was saying, is that she was actually in her mind accusing her husband without any evidence out there.
Mm-hmm.
But look
And
who she accused her with. She accused her husband with cant.
and most of the time, we women does that. I don't know why. But I normally say when we get to that point is when we start to feel the attention is, it's not being given the way it used to be given before, like when the relationship now started. But
Right.
what we need to understand is that is not at all time. When a relationship start, that means you're working hard, right, to
Mm-hmm.
get that person. But to keep that person, you need to work harder. But even
Right.
though you have that person, sometimes it's hard to keep working more hard to keep that person,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to maintain. When two people come together, you have to maintain the house financially. You have to maintain the children, especially when children come into marriage. And that's why I normally say to people, if you just get married, plan to have a child 5 or 6 years down the line. Like I say to my husband, we don't want any children anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
have enough, you have enough. I need my time now. Because if a child come in between, that's where the relationship start to break down.
Yeah.
So when you get married, you have to give yourself enough time to spend with your partner before you start making children. So,
Very,
you know, that
very important.
partner
Yes.
must feel, your partner must continue feeling that love and, you know, that one, that, put it this way, I normally say the G spot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what your partner want to feel. But when you just get married and you start to making children immediately, you don't have time for each other because most of your time is between work,
And
you know, coming home, dealing with the house, and then the kids, and you're tired, you know, going to bed. You don't even say good night or anything to each other no more.
right.
And then one partner or one party start to feel, you know what, he don't care or she don't care. But it's not, sometimes it's not that they don't care. You literally just tired and worn out from the day, from your day that you had. So what needs to be done is that each partner need to start to open up to each other. It doesn't matter what is going on in your life, even if it's 5 minutes when you go to bed, before you go to bed and sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk to your partner, be honest with them how you're feeling.
Yeah.
You get married, you choose that person to spend the rest of your life with, then you should know the way how to start the conversation with that person. But
Mm-hmm.
be honest and open and upfront. Most people forget that communication is the key to anything in life.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you go to do, it doesn't matter what you're going to do in life, communication, because I can't read your mind, you can't read my mind. So
Right.
if you don't communicate anything, then I'm thinking that everything is all right, you
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
And sometimes we as individual, we choose somebody, and then we get into the marriage, and then we realize, you know what, I can't even talk to that person,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I normally say to people, before you get into a marriage or a relationship and so on, find out first, get to know that person first, hold a conversation.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the big fancy dinner and this and that. If you can hold somebody for half an hour to hour on the phone, and they keep talking to you,
A
then
dialogue.
you know what, you know that dialogue is going to be there. But if you call somebody and they're kind of, you know, haunting for conversation or just
Right.
trying to pick things to talk about, you know that the person is not a person that communicate. Everybody have that person that they would match up with.
Right.
Sometimes we just need to take our time. My husband, he don't talk at all. I do all the talking. He just listen and agree.
Bless his heart. I have a
True,
friend,
true,
friend
true.
like that.
He just listen and agree. That's what I love about my husband. And if I say to him, babes, you're not spending enough time with me because you're going to work very often, he said to me, you know what, I realized that today's
Wow.
his off day
So
and he
he's
went
more
to
of a
work.
thinker.
Yeah, today's
Yeah.
his off day and he, you know, he get called into work, and I say to him, listen, I waited 6 days for this day and now you're just picking up and go to work. And he said, you know what, duty call. And I said to him, make sure if you come home 12 o'clock tonight, I need the same amount of time that you give your workplace. I need that time.
All right then.
And he agreed. Sometimes it's just agreeing to disagree, but talk to your
Yeah.
partner. It's
Yeah.
very
Have to
important.
communicate.
Very, very important. Talking
Yeah.
to your partner.
And then how you say something too matters a lot. You know, don't talk out of anger. If you feel
No,
angry about something, wait. I know as you know, we don't like that, but wait for the moment where you're not, so you can have a
yeah,
conversation and
yeah,
dialogue, you know, and understand each other. Because if you go accusing the other person about something they have no idea and they're looking at you like you grow two heads, then
like
you know
I
things are
was
not going
looking
to
for a
go.
blow dryer yesterday and couldn't find one because I know I had a red blow dryer in the house and couldn't find a blow dryer yesterday. And then I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna go look in another bedroom. So I went into the other room today and I found the dryer, but then this time I find a white blow dryer, not a red. So I
Oh,
went to my husband lying on the bed and I said to him, babes, with a very, very smiley face,
mhm.
did your girlfriend came here and wash her hair? Oh, my husband looked at me and said, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, there's a white blow dryer in the house and I don't have a white blow dryer. And
Uh-huh.
he said to me, He said, maybe it's your niece, because my niece normally come over. And I said to him, yeah, I know. I was just joking. I was just trying to figure out certain things. And he said to me, woman, don't play with me because my heart just left me when you tell me a white. I had to come up with something because I don't blow my hair.
Oh my God.
So sometimes, even if you want to get over, like a
Yeah.
question to your partner, you can say it in a jokey way and you get your answer.
Yes.
That means that they don't feel hurt or offended or anyway.
But
And
Cece, you remember when I asked her about her childhood and if she had, able to express herself at home, and she said no. So now she had that freedom. There's no range, no restraint to what's coming out of her mouth. She's saying what she feels.
CC never remember say she drop off at the bed at 6 months old. Tired.
and another thing, what most of we women do is that when we now get into the marriage, we're cooking and we're cleaning and we're washing clothes and we're taking care of our husband.
Mhm.
But then when we get into the marriage and, let me say 6 months gone, 7 months gone, 1 year gone, we start to become so, put it this way. So, you know what?
Complacent.
Yes, we're in the marriage already. I don't get him already. I don't have to do certain things.
Yep.
And that is not true. You have to continue doing what you're supposed to do
Yep.
as a wife. And husband need to support their wife. Sometimes, if the wife is doing it 5 days a week, I think the other 2 days the husband can say, honey, it's my day off. You can relax and I can get it done. But don't expect the wife to do it all the time. And wife should know that that's their duty, you know, as a wife to continue cooking and cleaning. I don't iron, period. If my husband want a divorce, just ask me to iron and I'm out, like free. Keep everything. Don't ask me
Mhm.
to iron. And I said that from up front.
Right.
I'm not gonna
Right.
iron clothes. And he accept that. I don't
Yeah.
iron clothes and I don't clean bathroom, but I love a clean bathroom. But I mentioned that up front from the time we started date. So
Yeah.
sometimes when we get in a relationship, just say the things that you like and the things that you don't like. So
Yeah.
there's
It's
no
all on the
surprise.
table.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
put it on the table and give that person a choice. Give that person if they want to be with you or if they don't want to be with you. Give them that choice. But
Right.
I
Well,
think
what would you say? What would you say as a fellow counselor? What would you say about Cece and her transition? What would you say about that?
but I'm kind of surprised that she transitioned that quick. That
I
means that
know that's
that
amazing, isn't
was
it?
in that means that was inside of her and
Right.
she was just looking at all the negative instead of communicating with her husband how she was feeling
Mhm.
and what she wanted.
Right.
She just took the negative side and that's what she was actually putting on him.
Mhm.
And also on herself. That's what she was doing.
Right.
And that's why it was so easy for her to transition because she knew to herself that he wasn't doing certain things. Because as a wife or as a husband, you should know your partner. You
Yes.
should know if somebody come and say to you, you know what, Cece, I saw your husband with a young lady, or I saw your husband in the casino. You should know right away off your head. If my husband, is in the casino, that means that there was something wrong, make he's in the casino. Rather than accusing him, you
Right.
ask
That's
him
good. First.
question.
Yes.
You should
Yeah.
know why, and you should know your partner to know, that there were probably something went wrong where, that he's with somebody or something. But
Right.
sitting down and beating up yourself and putting everything in your head and so on, every negative things. And that's how it's funny how the human mind work, because we can even see something positive
Mm.
about somebody or something positive about anything, and we just pick the negative things out.
Right. We should.
And that's how the human mind work. But in relationship, most of the time, we're the one that break down our own relationship, and then we
Right.
turn around and we blame everything and everyone else around us, but we forget to look at the mirror.
But you know what
We're
I love about Cece too, that she did not go. she went to a professional. She went to somebody that she knew was going to help her.
Yes,
Mo-
and sometimes it's important when we're going through something to find somebody that we trust, to talk with. And you know, you have to always find that right person, because if you don't find that right person, that person can give you an advice that can cost you
damaging.
something
Yeah,
really, really good.
yeah,
So we always have to remember, when we're looking for somebody to confide in, we have to find somebody who's going to give
credible.
you the advice, and just don't
Yeah.
push you to be more negative or to be more arrogant towards the situation. So that
Mhm.
was something, that she did well,
Yeah,
so
you did.
yeah, yeah, she did well.
Sissy, what would you say to the young lady you accuse? Have you spoken to her yet?
Well, I didn't really accuse her or him.
Uh, Sissy?
Remember, it was something that I had
Oh,
in my
you're
mind.
thinking it. Okay,
Yes, I
okay.
was thinking it that,
But CC,
Mhm.
you know, get it tonight. You accuse her.
in my
Even
mind.
though it was something. The fact that you thought of it in your head, you accuse her.
So here's what happened now. If it was a case that I had gone to her and said, "Hey, I know you're trying to throw yourself on couscous. Don't let me have to stop you." If that was the case, then I would think that I have to go back to her. If it was a thought that I had in my mind that I talked to my counselor about it and I realized it's not true, I'm not gonna go to her and then cause no problem.
Yeah, but CC, you need to look in the mirror again. You thought of it in your mind, you
Yes.
give her the attitude,
No,
but then,
I
but
wasn't.
hold on, CC. But then you come tonight, as she walk in the door, you
No,
say, see the woman there, everything same that I see down the church, and then she nearly get a heart attack. She wonder, what me do? So CC, you
I have no
did.
idea.
listen. When I went to my counselor, I was
CC, I want you know, say this woman I pay me, no, 'cause immediately she retain me, no.
when I went to my counselor and I was telling my counselor about my thought. So now I'm at my counselor. I saw this person walk in, so I'm just telling my counselor that that's the one I was thinking of.
Yes, and then she want to know why, and then she heard why.
But
Because I
Cece,
wasn't no fridge with it. I told her that your thing says she take your man.
But
I
it ties into something that Alicia messaged in on the chat as well. She said it doesn't matter how small or big, the issue is we need to trust each other and communicate with each other. So, in situations like that, and I think, Alicia, you can, expound or give an example where that is concerned. Sometimes we might just have it in our mind that this is what is happening, and we keep it and we build on it
but
without even asking any questions.
I told
that's
Couscous
that's
when
what I was going to ask Cece. Did you speak to your husband about it?
yes, oh yes, I alluded to that earlier. I told my counselor that yes, we talked about it.
You did say that.
And
Yeah.
what was his reaction?
When I told him, he did say he understand why I would think that he's having an affair because he was going and he wasn't really saying where he was going, but in the long run, he was just basically going to church to pray.
Mhm.
So sometimes, and as I'm gonna just switch over just a little bit over to the Christianity. Sometimes as Christian, when we go to pray or we go to do something, we don't like to expose it, because sometimes you expose it to the enemy and it does not work out. We know that, right? So maybe your husband was one of those Christian that did not, he was praying for the relationship, he was praying for you, but then he did not want to communicate that with you, because you know what? Because of the, he didn't know that you were thinking negative, but maybe he's thinking in his mind, she's thinking that way. So he didn't want to put that pressure onto you for you to say, oh, you're using church as an excuse or you're using this as an
And
excuse.
chances are, Madam Counselor, that that's what she would say.
Yes.
Thinking of CC
So
number one would have thought that.
so so it's okay for not knowing where he's going, but it's okay to trust where he's going without telling you where he's going. It's okay as a married couple or a single couple or an engaged couple. It always trust your partner, because trust is important. But trust is not as important as communication.
Right.
Your partner don't have to always mention or say to you, okay, Cece, I'm going over by the red building with the guys, or I'm going over to the blue building. He might just say, Cece, I'm coming back in 10 minutes. We should have that trust that, what, that 10 minutes is okay wherever he go, that he's doing the right thing at all time.
Right.
Because sometimes when you keep putting negative thought into something, we end up getting negative answers. And when we get the negative answers or the negative action, then we can deal with it as individuals.
Yeah.
And most of the time that's what we're gonna get, because that's how we're thinking. So you're always thinking, putting that negative thought into your mind. Whatever we think, that's what we're gonna get. That's the action we're gonna get behind. So always try to stay positive, even though something may not be working in your favor. Just stay positive and upbeat. It's hard to do that, but trust me, in a marriage or relationship, it's very much important to stay positive and upbeat. Listen, like, you see how nice Cece do up she hair tonight? Do up your hair fancy. By the time husband come home, just open the door for him. Do like me. I text him all the time to know, babes, what's your location? Oh, I'm 10 minutes away. What's your location? I'm 2 minutes away. What your location? I'm in the elevator. By the time he say elevate, I'm right by the door waiting. So
But that is
so
why
sometimes
that is why Don James' mother is telling you tonight
She
she
will.
need a niece or a nephew.
that's not possible.
Oh, you mean that's not possible?
Nope, nope.
Awaya.
I say to people, it doesn't matter how long you're in a marriage or relationship, you have to keep working to keep it working. That is my note. You keep working to keep it working, because from the time you stop working, that's where all the breakdowns start to come. Everybody start to be unhappy. I used to get rice and beans and baked chicken on Sunday. No, I ain't even seen the rice much as the beans, much as the chicken. So you gotta keep it up. You just can't start the fire and then you end up putting, water on it. Every day you just throw a little bit of gas until, until God take one another.
Right.
And
One
most of the
person
time,
say that one of the things with a marriage relationship, each other should be finding ways as to how to please one another.
amen to that.
Pleasing,
Amen.
And the
ways
best way to do that, the best way to do that, I oftentimes tell people that marriage is a place where you come to give, not to take from. And so
Amen.
that's friendship. Yeah. Um, me and Minister Philip were friends. Me and Alicia were friends next to brother and sisters. It's a place where you come to give, not to take from. And in talking about giving, I'm not just talking about dollars and cents. I'm talking about if Alicia need a listening ear, I must be willing to give that listening ear, just as I should be willing to give me a $10 if I need a $10, or a plate of food if I need a plate of food. If each person in a marriage, friendship, or whatever kind of relationship it is, decide that I'm coming in this to give, that's how you will end up pleasing each other. But when one person think that, the other person is independent of them, can't do without them, and they are the shining armor and the whatever. No, you already put your marriage or your friendship at a place of destruction, because it cannot work like that. And it's with that the scripture Jesus told the disciples that not even the devil kingdom work in this array. because two
Yeah.
can't walk unless them agree. A house divide can't stand. Yeah. And many times people being unfair to their friend in the friendship or the spouse in the relationship, know that they are reserved, know that they're holding back, know that they're not giving not even 50 or 25, and watch the person giving 100 and plus, and then I do nothing, and then still make that person feel like they are the one wrong in the marriage. One of the worst things for me in any friendship or even in my marriage is to know that I'm doing my best and my best is not counted on, not counted for, not seen. Everything got AY. You tell me, say I had a problem. Well, the next thing next for me to do, since me had a problem, hit the road,
No,
right?
no, no.
So,
You don't always have to hit the road. Like I say, you sit and you have that conversation. It's so important.
but,
You
but
know,
can I tell you? Can I tell you?
sometimes you need to take a jackhammer and just jackhammer the hardness, the concrete. You
Mhm.
know, you ever see a fortune cookie?
What?
Fortune
Fortune cookie.
Yeah,
from
me
the
get them every restaurant you go in Canada, you get
Good.
them.
So fortune cookie, for you to see what's inside, you have to break it open, right?
mm-hmm.
So sometimes you have to do that in a relationship or a marriage. You always have to break the wall that is built up there. And sometimes it's not you the person is actually have that wall up there for. Sometimes it's because of their past. And it's something I normally say to individual. When you go through something in your past, especially in a relationship, what you have to do is forgive that person before you go into another relationship. And sometimes, even if you forgive that person, you also have to forgive yourself as an individual. Most people normally say, I don't have to forgive myself because I didn't do anything wrong.
That's
No, that's a lie because ain't nobody perfect.
right.
Every action have a reaction. So even if that person was doing you something wrong, you had to react some point in time. So you yourself need to forgive yourself first before you move on, because what you're doing, you're actually taking all your baggage into a really nice relationship. And
Yeah.
sometimes that person love you unconditionally. That person is willing to go through everything that you're dishing out, and give to them. But this wall is up because you're so afraid of, what happened in my past.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to, not sometimes, I normally tell people, I don't want to see my past. My past is what make my future. And I don't want to see my past anymore. The only time I want to be reminded by my past is when it comes to praising the Lord, because you know what? It's important for us to keep that fire when it comes to praising. We have to always look back at our past to give God that honest and that energy in giving praise and thanks for where He brought us from. But when it comes to your relationship or your marriage, you just forget about the past and give that person 100%, open up, and things become so easy and so freely because your partner just wanna, I can't wait for 5 o'clock reach. When I get home, I don't even know what's gonna happen. Today is Friday. I might get something excited. That's what your partner, give your partner something to think about, something new to think about every day. It doesn't matter 5 years in marriage, 2 years in marriage. Most people look at their partner, look at the men. Women, this is for women right now because I'm a woman, and that's how I used to think. That
Talk for the brothers.
no, we women always think that it's the man's duty to treat us to dinner or lunch or buy a rose or buy a card. What happened if he can't afford? You as a wife or a husband should know your financial status in a marriage or in a relationship. So
Mhm.
sometimes you don't always have the finance to do something special for that person. What you do, you just come home, take a hour, your lunch break, and come home early in the evening. You cook a nice dinner, you turn down the light or even turn off the light and light 2 candles right on your breakfast table.
Turn
You
off
play
the
some
light.
nice music, and you welcome your
Light the
partner when they come
candle.
home, and you show them how much you appreciate them. Or you know what, you just slip a note in his pocket or her pocket before she go to work, and when she go into her pocket or he go into his pocket, he see a note. It does not always have to be a big fancy dinner or a vacation or whatever. Learn to appreciate each other for what they can do in the moment, at home or anywhere. Just learn to appreciate each other more. Learn to compliment your partner a little bit more. It's so important to compliment your partner, even if your partner is not. Put it this way, I don't know about anybody, but I normally say my husband is the most handsome, the most sexy guy that
Eh,
I
eh,
know. And I
eh,
tell him
eh,
that every day, how much I love and
eh,
appreciate
eh.
him. So spend
I
time
wonder if she realized
appreciating
that I
what
sit
you
down here for a
have.
sec.
You know, you spend time appreciating what you have, because if you don't say the word, then somebody else gonna say the
Oh,
word
yeah,
for you.
definitely.
You know, so you want to take every second of your marriage and make sure that that person is appreciated every day. Do
And
something
it
nice.
goes on both sides of the fence, you know.
Yes, but I mean, 90% we women want the men to do it. And it's
Yeah,
important. We
yeah.
women should know that a marriage is not just one person. A man need to feel the same way that we're feeling. It's
Mm.
just that the man would not show that needy side of them, but we women tends to show that needy side, that we need the emotional side, we need the affectionate side, we need all the side, but then we're not giving the same thing back to our partner. So our partner need to feel that same way that we're feeling. It's just that men don't like to show, that they're needy.
Mm.
So it's important that we women start to learn to appreciate our husband a little bit more. It's very important, because if we don't do it, then there would be a breakdown in the relationship. And sometimes it's not that the person doesn't love you, but love alone cannot work in a relationship.
How important do you think it is that probably because you have your marriage seminars, you have your time when marriage couples come together just to get away, just to revisit some things and to to know each other. How important that is, you think, for couples to do that at least once a year or something, just to get away, find a babysitter for the kids if there are children involved or whatever. How vital it is, and how beneficial that is for the relationship.
It's very important for a couple to have that alone time, but it come back again to where the finance is in the relationship. Because if you're a couple that, you guys both working for minimum wage and you can't afford a vacation, you
Mhm.
don't have, put it this way, you don't have to jump on a plane, or you don't have to go somewhere to have that alone time. You can find that alone time when the kids going to school. You get a day off, both of you, somebody can ask their boss, what, boss, my wife is off on Friday, can I have that day? And I don't mind work back, an extra 2 day. You guys have the house for yourself. You start from the living room, you got the kitchen, you got the bedroom, you got even the kids
I
bedroom.
wonder where they must start from the living room.
Pardon me.
Or where they must start from the living room and take to the kitchen and pan bed and pan floor against wall.
because
I want
because for
CC,
me,
yeah,
when,
here, CC.
no,
Remember
because everything have a
Couscous a
starting
good
point.
Christian. Huh?
Everything have a starting point and it have an ending point. So you want to end at the main point, which is the master bedroom. So it's very important to start somewhere and end somewhere if you're
Yeah.
gonna have that alone time.
So, so how them a go prepare the meal in the master bedroom?
Pardon me.
How them a go prepare the food in the master bedroom?
It depends on what type of food we're talking about.
Hello?
This alone, no. The alone time is not about food, literally food time. Alone time is spending alone time.
She said it's starting somewhere and it's ending somewhere and it should end in the master bedroom.
Yes, it
You
should.
look like you understand very clear what she attacks, eh?
I have 7 children.
So
CC
yes, it's it's
knows.
it's important. And sometimes, Minister Phillips, even if you don't have the finance to do, or put it this way, want a different scenery, once a month you just go to a nice, hotel. It doesn't have to be expensive. There's some nice middle class, hotel out there, and
Yeah,
you just get a night, or and just relax.
different
It's
scenery,
very
different
much
place. Yeah,
important.
yeah.
Yes, yes,
Creative. One of the things you have to be creative. Find fresh ways to enhance
yes,
the
yes,
relationship. You got to be
yes,
creative.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
But the
that's
thing
what I'm
is,
saying. Sometimes when we get married, we tend to say, you know what, I already get the man that I need, or I already get the woman I needed, and that's it. You have to keep working to keep whatever you have working. It's very much
Gotta keep
important.
it fresh.
That is well said. And at this junction, we just want to go into chat for a little bit. We realize it's like 20 minutes to 10 right now, because chat has been interactive as well. Um,
I
let me
guess, I think you left off at Joy.
Yes, we left off at Joy and Sister Judith Grant. She joined us. She was saying goodnight to us, Sister Tish. She came in. My dad, Daddy Turbo, is saying, "Wow, he was ready for the kill." Smile. So that's when CC say, "Hi, honey." Yes, yes, and Sister Alicia was saying, and that's what Mr. Sir was talking about. Sounds like a breakdown in communication in the relationship for a long time. And Jojo, Minister Phillips' daughter, and Sir Sister Joanna, she came in the room and she was saying hello. And Sister Lisa was also saying sometimes both parties wait until things get to a point where there's no turning point. So, as a couple, we need to address all issues and problems before it gets out of control. And that's very, very true. Sister Alberta
Profound.
Sister Alberta was saying Cece was determined to make a change, and that is great. And yes, we have to be the change that we want to see. A lot of times we want to change people, but we ourselves, we need to change and we need to, take ownership of our own behavior and see where we can do better. Sister Alicia was saying it doesn't matter how small or big is the issue, we need to trust each other and communicate with each other. Very true. Sister Winsome is here saying good evening. Sister Sue is saying good night, all. Minister Nash, real talk, saying grace and peace, one and all. Yes, and Joanna is saying better out than in. Better out than in. Uh,
What does that mean?
the answer in what I saw is okay, is she went for help. So what he's saying, the answer is she went for help. And we have to know when we need help. For the past couple of weeks, what's been said is that especially in our culture, people tends to look at counseling as taboo. But how bad do you want the relationship? How bad does the woman love her man? How bad does the man love his wife? Right? Everybody have to know what they want. And if one party is trying to do everything, to do the counseling, to do the whole 9 yard, and the next party is not trying, they're not willing to try, something is wrong. There's unbalance there. So it depends on how, the person must see that, yeah, something is wrong. I need some help, and seek the help. Seek the help. So CC needed help because CC loved mas cuckoos. Yes. Vivian Williams is here saying good night, everyone. Alberta Smith is saying, that's right. There is the man as the head of his home. He got his home right back on track. He seek God first and then got it right. So, he was there seeking God, regarding his relationship because they had a good thing going on. They really had a good thing going. Um, Prophet Apostle Diliana, she is here. I don't know if she still is, but she's saying hi, everyone. And I did welcome her. Evangelist Gordon, she was saying, wow, you're looking stunning. Yeah, see, I'm telling you, Cece looking hot.
It's a change.
CC change, man. CC change tonight. Yes. Donwa said, I need a nephew or a niece. Mr. Sir read that. Um, Daddy Turbo was saying, he's more than right. Okay, he's more than right. Is it Mas Cuckoo's or is it Mas Cuckoo's counselor? And yes, let's see, he's saying, good, but what I am thinking, her car was running low on gas, so she went to the filling station and she got her tank filled.
CC. I want tank she a carry.
Her car was running low on gas.
Metaphorically.
Um, Evangelist Gordon saying, real talk, because I have a big wall up. See that? So this is what this is about, to help people where they're at. So she's saying she have a big wall up. And remember, you're saying we need to get the walls down. We need to get, regardless of what caused the wall. Go ahead, sir.
But to show you, that's a good point. Minister Garden is at to recognize that there is a wall,
That's right.
because sometimes we hide behind them walls to keep us safe, and it's not really keeping us safe. And I've seen many women grow old and single because of those walls. And the walls also cause them to become picky and choosy. They want to find a lover, but them hanging out with piercing the woman. They're not going nowhere where man can see them. Yeah? Then they not take them there. If they go to the movie, they might go hell. If they walk down to the park, they might go hell. They don't want to do nothing for a man to see them. Them not go where the brothers hang out. Them not go by the basketball court, go stand up and watch a game and all of these things. So behind the wall sometimes they make other reinforcement for the wall that keep them single and just dogman. So the greatest thing on earth day after night is that you acknowledge that there's a wall. Now,
That's right.
how are we going to help her to pull down that wall? It's for her to know that, listen, the wall not also how long you have up that wall, what it has done for you so far. How many times you say if you had people from the wall, you'd have probably over the wall a long time. So I'm saying walls are not good. The only good wall is the angel of the Lord that encamp around about us. Any wall we put up for ourselves, already makes
When
sense.
when we put up the walls, basically what happened, by letting everyone out, we imprison ourselves. So we are the ones who is within the walls. We're the ones who are on the inside, not letting anyone in. So we become a self-inflicted prisoner, basically. Um,
Yeah.
so hopefully something help Evangelist Gordon. And if you need to speak to someone, by all means, we have counselors right here on the forum. Yes, yes, yes. And Daddy Turbo say, put some of the money down and check in a hotel somewhere out of town. If you have a car or a bike, yes,
Amen to that. Amen to that.
And that's a powerful statement,
yeah.
because I have two church brother in Maple in Jamaica. One of them, they were twins. He was twin with his twin sister. So when his twin sister married and started having children, he started feeling away. Try many times and everything failed. They go to the doctor tell him say I'm all right, tell him say she all right. But them just don't know why. Every time they try at child's birth, they fail. And I was saying to them, because we do seminar a year time to have and to hold marriage and singles retreat. We do it a year time. And I said to him, why you don't try come to one of the seminar? Him saying, can't afford it. I said, all right, you're living in Mapen. Why you don't try book a cheap guest house or a hotel in Kingston? Because sometimes an environment change allow them little swimmers to swim and find the egg. Yeah, he thought I was talking him stupid. I was telling him stupidness. Finally took the advice, I was in Orcharias, and he decided that he and her coming to spend some time with us in Orcharias. And me just drive out, left the two of them there. Me don't know what they broke down, but I know they called me a couple of weeks later and say, yes, bingo, it happened. Me tell them, so they should have named that child Jerry Residence. You see what I'm saying? So what Daddy Turbo is saying, sometimes even it might not be a love affair, it might be a friendship, it might be a sibling kind of thing. Sometimes a little outgoing, leave that environment. Sometimes you will see a different side that you never see before. Yeah. Sometimes just jump into the vehicle and take a drive.
Just go to Niagara Falls. Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you see what I say? Stop watch the gas. Stop watch. You see what I'm saying? So all of this good, and I want her to know. Minister Garden said, if you need counselor, we have them here. We want you to know that Sister Alicia Beaton and Minister Mary Phillips is going to be working very close where these things concern. You know why? The both of them have a passion to see people life get better. And that's the key to look for in a counselor. Some of them just in it for the dollars. Some of them just in it because them fast and want to know your business. Some of them in it because they want to make people life better. I mean, I'm going to say because they're in it for that, and then I'm going to give them a little contribution and all of them something because they have to buy soap.
Mine's
Okay.
is free.
Yes.
Yes, they can go on, but yes, it's free. I
Mine's
mean,
is
you
free.
You might not be seeing Sister Kay on set right now. It's just because her son woke up and she's attending to him, right?
watch the listening.
She is listening in. And yes. So next we have Vivian Williams. She's saying, lonely is the night.
Woo! Lonely.
What's going
The
on?
bean is lonely.
Lonely is the night.
He needs somebody. But should they behind a wall?
Yes, I hope you if there's a wall, you take the walls down.
Climb over, put up a ladder, run round it.
Sometimes it's okay not to be CC anymore, you know. Sometimes it's okay to have a different name at all time.
That's true.
Such
Yeah.
as, such as,
See?
Jennifer. I can be Jennifer tonight. It can be any name. I just don't want to be Alicia all the time.
all right, me come up with name because you see, Minister Philip
Indulge
is not
them.
Minister Philip in these sets anymore. She's a Geta.
We have Jerome right here. He's saying, bless good night, one and all. And he said, sorry he's late. And he said, educate me. I'm a newlywed, so I need all the counseling I can get. And Evangelist Gordon was saying, amen. Daddy Turbo said, Pastor, I guess he want to say, what are you saying, sir? If she is in the church, is there any good men in the church, Pastor?
I would say yes, because anyway you find man is really good enough. It's just circumstances make men the way they are, right? Men good. And sometimes the men that we think not good, when we really check the past history, some things that they've been through, it's not that they're not good, it's just a wall that they have up. They're afraid to love, they're afraid to trust, they're afraid to tell somebody something nice, they're afraid to buy a gift, they're afraid to invite somebody out because of the things that they've been through. And men deal with these things different from a woman deal with it. Some men suppress it. Some man is introvert. They keep it there until them dead. It slow down the pace. It slow down the move. It slow down the motives. You see what I'm saying? So yes, there are good men in the church. It's only that some of the pastors and some of the prophets spoil them. Have them running back at them and have them not caring about their family. Refuse to sit down and tell them it's not about me, your pastor, or your prophet every time, but it's supposed to be about your family. It's God first, family second, and church after. Some pastors not teach that. So yes, there are good men in the church. The next component of it is that women need to understand that the bucket list is not reality. Throw away the bucket list. Probably a man in a church have some little bad ways, but you have the ingredients to teach him how to get out of that. Some women don't want that. They want a ready-made husband. Yeah, so they deem to say, no good man not in a church. Please say good man in a church, good man out in the world. Come on, man is good anywhere you find them. It's just that some of them need to be retrained, reprogrammed. Some of them need somebody to show them the light, show them the way. You find a man not dressed good and not bathe himself properly. As a woman, don't scorn him and say he can't be your husband. Think of yourself that if you get this man, what you're going to do with him? You're going to teach him how to bathe himself properly. You're going to teach him how to dress properly. You're going to groom him up. You're going to nice him up. And you know what? You're doing it all for yourself. So, I mean, man good, yes, in the church, but somehow we need working on. And guess what? God now come down conduit. It's the woman input in our lives that going to do these things. So yes, that is terrible. I believe that answers the question.
Yeah,
Right,
but
Minister? Oh, go
Journal,
ahead, Alicia.
you know, everybody keeps saying man, 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 man.
Mhm.
There's no perfect woman. Sometimes half of the time we women got a problem. And the sooner we start to acknowledge that men is not only the problem, it's important for we women to say men is not always the problem. Sometimes we are the problem.
Yeah.
We're not, because we're so focused on saying man, because man is so, it's so easy to put the blame on that we're, you know, everybody believe that. But most of the time we women have to be blamed.
And
And
they
most of the
can't say
time
amen, them to say ouch.
we women push the men to do things that they don't even want to do. And the faster we start to acknowledge and accept those things about we women, the easier we relationship or marriage gonna get. Other than that, it's gonna get very hard. And it's gonna
Reality.
continue to be very hard.
Just to add to what you're saying too as well, Sister Alicia, that sometimes, say for example, when women are single for a long duration of time and they develop a sense of independence and they do what they want to do, how they want to do, when they want to do, and then when it comes to submitting to their husband, sometimes you know, it's not in all cases, but there are some cases where they still want to be the strong one in the relationship, in everything in the relationship, right across the board. They don't want to maybe submit. They don't want to, because they haven't had anyone listening to for maybe a number of years. So when we you know, see certain things within ourselves, again, at the end of the day, each individual have to look within themselves, see where they are going wrong, see what they can do better in order to make the relationship better.
It's funny that you say that because Journal would tell you I am so independent that half of the time,
Trust
or
me.
even 2% of the time, I don't need a man in my life. But you know what? That's my biggest need. I acknowledge that because the thing is it with me, I can finance myself. I can buy a house, I can buy a car, I can do whatever I want. I can get up tomorrow and say, listen, I'm going to get my hair done. I don't have to ask my husband. I can go get my nails done. Anything that I want to get done on my own, because from a young age, I've been independent. But I don't know about those independent women out there. It does not satisfy you. We need to just let go of that. And you know what? Enjoy what God put on earth. Listen to me. I don't care how much money I have. I don't care how much independent status I have. What's important is that when the night come, I am with my husband and he's there telling me how beautiful, how nice I am, and
And
how he like
therefore
my food. And
honeymoon.
that's important. That you know, that make you feel like you accomplished something, because you can be independent and have a house and have the fanciest car, but when you park that car in the garage and you come and you lie down on that bed, there is nobody for you to talk to. There is nobody to touch your face and tell you how warm and tender you feel or anything. Now that house can fall down on you and it still wouldn't tell you how, how beautiful you are or how nice you are or anything. So for the independent women out there, sometimes, you know what, the money, the house, the car, it does not matter. What is important is that you have somebody next to you who fulfill you. Yes, you're happy with all the finance and so on your independent status, but then you still need that person next to you to fulfill that put it this, I normally say what God put on earth, and I enjoy that about myself, even though I'm an independent woman. In my marriage, I mean, Journal, by now, Journal can say, or anybody who
Yeah.
know me can say, I do what I want. If I want to put on something today, I put it on. Even if my husband don't like it, I'll tell him, babe, just enjoy it for the day. And I don't have to take it off. If I want to cut off my hair, I do it without even asking him, because he know that I'm an independent woman. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna have a breakdown in my marriage. That means that my husband understand that I'm independent, but I still give him that level of respect when it comes to every other part of the marriage. He's still smiling when the day come, because it's important. And you know what, the sooner they partner, a husband or a wife, allow that person to be themselves, you're going to see how easy that marriage or how easy that relationship would go. But when you want to tell somebody, okay, you know what, I work for more money than you, then go live with the money, then you don't need me.
That's right.
So, we sometimes we need to just come down to that person level and accept, the love and whatever the person is willing to give. And don't look at the independent side. I love being independent. Like, you know what, I'm here with my husband and he's telling me there's no way you're going to go work. And I tell him, listen, if you want to stay married, you better put me out there, because after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I start to be very grumpy when I can't work. I hate being home. I mean, I don't mind being home, but on off days. But I have to work. It's important.
Yeah,
You know,
she's another
make
working turbo.
But one of the things I realized too, that you cannot change anybody.
no.
You're working hard to change your partner is not going to work. You have
Yeah,
to
but why
focus
would you
on
want to change your
changing
partner?
you. Mm,
That's what you need to ask. They need to ask each other. Why would you want to change your partner? It's two total, is different person. They're
right.
two total different
Most
person. It's
people
just that.
focus, especially you women, they want, I want you to do this. They're rigid in what it is that they want. But they
And
don't realize that but the man came into the relationship like that. You've seen
I like
probably,
I
you
like
haven't
what
seen.
you say, women. That's what we need to do. We as women need to start coming out and accepting and pointing out that 90% of the time we women have so much issues that all the man want to do is come home to a house that ain't got no nagging, get
Yeah,
little food, enjoy a warm
easy
bed,
to take care
and
of.
and that's it. A
Yeah.
man does not ask for much. We women, we ask for too much.
But you
That's our.
say,
Evangelist Gordon, she's agreeing, and she said exactly true. Women are the problem at times.
Most of
yeah.
the time.
But Sister Alicia just say, all a man want is to come home, now get no nagging, get some food, and that's it. No, sir.
And
Man want
a
more.
warm bed, and that's it. He doesn't want
No,
a
man
man does
want
not
more.
ask for
Man
much.
want flutter too.
That's what I'm saying. A warm bed. That's it. When he don't get
Oh,
that,
you called it a warm bed.
yes.
Oh, you have to
And
be
then,
careful when you talk to these wives. Nowadays, they will talk about the mattress. The things say the mattress you talk about.
yeah, but you know something, Journal. Another thing that most women complain about, when a man don't make sure that make that woman feel like a woman in bed. When he finish, he's tired, he won't go to sleep. Enough of them complain about that. The man just make you happy, and you complaining that he gone to sleep.
A
It's
lady,
important not to complain because he used more blood than anything else. He tired, let the man go to sleep.
a wife come to me with that once. And when I answer her, she said to me, she talked to about 13 persons who were married before her. and they have the same complaint. None of them not getting an answer. I said to her, I say, it takes energy for a woman to feel horny, want sex, energy. All she using is energy. For a man to horny and have sex, it takes energy plus blood.
Yep.
It takes blood to lift the penis.
You find most women complain about that, and most women feel that their husband or their partner does not have that emotional side. He just wants sex, but no, it's not just about sex. A man body, when you study the man body, he feel, trust me, it's like he just lift 1,000 pounds
It's
on
a
a,
crane.
it's like an ant lifting a house on his back. And we need to understand that as women. It's, women, when they finish, they want to cuddle and kiss and listen, the
Cuddle
man
and
tired.
kiss while me sleep. But watch, I mean, that is why a lot of man talk nonsense during sex. Because the blood not circulating in brain. Everything down the lip in that crane. Everything down the lip in that crane. If you're cutting short, it not gonna bleed because all line blood down in that like a crane. That's the levels. And when a man done and his blood starts circulating again, then I'm gonna sleep. I will go deeper with that. I am a dog breeder. And even my dogs, when the male dog, just for him to jump up to stud the female dog, sometimes him jump up and miss. And him tired. Much less when him connect. As him done, him run around and you see him go and sleep. Nowhere to be found after. You know, see the female dog a cuss him and sing a bunty song. You are walkless boy. Oh, lion. No, the dog now do that. She understand when him just yes, you know what? She take it, she feel good until he wake up. She go push it up in her face again. No, it's reality. Women make man feel worthless. They demasculate man. Find them something. Them me tell them all the while. Me, I nothing to prove. Not when me young, much less now me all. When me don't sleep, if you want couscous.
Yeah, but it's important as a woman to understand. Even if a man come home and he's tired, and you to that point where you say, okay, I need something tonight, something got to happen, and your husband come home and he say he tired. He is tired, but then you know what? You can simply say to him, honey, you know what? Let's just foreplay and just go to bed. And he is satisfied with that. And then you are satisfied with that. It does not always have to go to the end where you want it to go. You know?
I think this is the segment of Thursday Night Hot Topic Live where Sister Alicia and her husband is supposed to be joining us. Because Cece, got her counseling and Cece is doing good.
But I want to know, Cece. I know a lot of games. I know a lot of plays. I know the bowler play the ball, bowl the ball. I know me play ping ball game, me play Pac-Man game, me play all of that. But me just hear this counselor talk about 4 player. Which 4 game that?
Excuse me.
A game with 4 people.
Me just hear you talk about 4 player. Which 4 game that? But them 4 game. With them 4 game they call.
It's not a game with 4 people. It's a game with 2 persons, husband and wife.
But all right, a game with a husband and wife. What the 4 game name? They say 4 player. What the 4 game name? What am I gonna play?
Phillips, move your hand.
You can put all the romance there. Don't worry. You can put all the romance in.
So me, I have to take plane and go Rome.
No. I never say that. I never say that. In foreplay, both partners or both parties can enjoy themselves without that penetration. I don't know what you're talking about that you got to go to your room, because listen to me. You can have that enjoyment without any penetration.
It's very hard for a man to do. You have to be intentional about that. That's not easy.
Really. I mean, we as women,
men, it is a practice. You have to, and that's why communication is so important, especially with sex. Most people don't want to talk, but this is the best time to be talking, Because you
Listen,
might think you know what the other partner wants and what's pleasurable, and you're making a big mistake. You don't know, you think, and that's what they say, women fake it. That's a whole nother
Trust me.
thing.
And some of them really do. Some of them really do, because you
no,
can
no,
tell
no,
when
no,
them
no.
are fake.
Journal, you find most women would fake it if there's no foreplay in it. And men
No,
need
but
no, I'm gonna touch on the men because most of the time when the men they say 12 o'clock, they just want to make sure that they say 12 and 6, and that does not work with a woman. A woman need to have that time where you can do all your touching and all the foreplay and all the excitement before you say 12 and 6.
I
So
hear what CC was saying.
it's very much important to have that foreplay where a woman is concerned, because it's easy for a man to reach that 12 and 6. It's harder for a woman to reach 12 and then go back to 6. So it's important to spend that time, good 10 minutes, 50 minutes in that nice, nice romantic, foreplay area. And then you take a 2 minutes and you go from 12 to 6. It's very much important. And like Minister Phillips was saying, it's important to talk during that time, because your partner would not know how you're feeling and or where to touch, or so it's very much important to have that conversation. For me at that time, I speak Spanish, English. I can bring out all the different language at that time, but when I reach 6 o'clock, I come back to English. But tell me what I was saying before. I don't know. Don't ask me that, because that wasn't my time. That was we time.
Gracelyn Favor Stephen is saying, Mrs. Beatons. But it's now 9 minutes after 10 o'clock. So, like I mentioned, this is for another show, another day when both of you can be here. Yes, and have some more talk. And that's going to be a Thursday night hot.
So we can safely say, Mrs. Beaton, we can safely say now we catch you on camera. We can safely say we will plan not for next week Thursday, but the week after. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
No, wait. You see, it's okay with me, but with Mr. Beaton, it's hard because, like I said, today was his day off and he get called into work. So it's kind of hard with his time.
Well, I know week after next week, then I'll call him out.
Me next time. Gracelyn said, hook me next time.
Yes, Gretlin, we serious, Gracelyn. Is Gracelyn married or not?
Yeah, she is married. That's mommy journal.
Huh?
That's
How would
mommy.
they joke this? Oh, my God. Hey,
Listen, journal, you have to have.
You might think she old, but she not cool.
You have to have a night with 50 and up women, because most of the time women think when they reach a certain age, that's why the older men go for younger women, because they when women reach a certain age, they kind of say, you know what, I'm too old for this, I'm too old for that. So you need to have a night where you have older women that act younger and that can, open up that forum, with the, put it this way, with the older women, not with the younger women, with the older women.
Which is...
Mommy Gracelyn said, I am more hot than any of you. She need to come back for the next one too.
It's reality. And we will link her on that. But you said something which is right. Because the truth is, I believe the older women fail the younger ones. They don't know how to take care of their relationships. They don't know how to take care of their husbands. They don't know how to take care of themselves. They don't know how to take care of their family. I believe the older ones really do drop the ball where that is concerned. But we are just trying to work our way through the pandemic, but we are going to be structuring some of these things, like coming up next week. Coming up next week, we realize this cyber schooling thing is driving a lot of children crazy to suicide, driving a lot of parents crazy, and it driving a lot of wedge between parents and children relationship. And nobody's speaking about it. And it have me real mad. It have me real mad enough set to the point where I have more than 10 mothers that calling me want to know what to do, how to angle this thing. They just drop this thing on the parents. One of the things they do, they take the people them school fee, tell the parents pay the school fee, no so them now make the people come out of school, no so them are going to make the parents do all of the work. If you're not going to do that, you shouldn't take school fee from the people them. You shouldn't. And nobody's saying nothing about it. Well, we are going to talk about that next week with our...
Journal,
uh,
in case like that, I normally say to parents, if you as a parent can't, deal with the problem with a child or your children, reach out to a pastor or somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody from the church, but don't wait for it to get that bad, for that child to try to hurt themselves, or do something. That reach out to somebody.
but
There's help.
sometimes
There's always help out there for everybody at any time.
Sometimes they reach out to persons and persons are more confused than them and not even saying it. And in trying to help them, they help them through their lens, how they feel. And it even send the person different. This is a new way of life they try to impose and society. I believe that if you are going to say homeschool the children, government should step in and subsidize certain things, because you have some parents out there who couldn't afford to send them to school, couldn't afford shoes, couldn't afford food, much less to go buy a tablet with how much gig memory, a laptop with how much gig memory. Yes, 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 idea.
We're not going too much into next week topic today.
Right.
Digging too much into it. So you were just giving a little synopsis of what next week is going to be about. We're not going to really talk about it tonight. So if each of you could just take the next 30 seconds and give your final thought so we can wrap up. It's now 10:15.
And the managing director has spoken, and yes, I do agree. So, Alicia, you can jump in on this next week as well. But I personally feel that tonight was a success in terms of you see CC in one extreme, where she was just outraged, outburst, and outspoken. You see that counseling really do work when you find the right counselor. You see that implementation work. She go and she implement what counselors say, and she get the result that she desire. A lot of people get counsel, don't follow counsel advice and expect to get their desired result. It can't work like that. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a success tonight because we see one person come and acknowledge that they do have a wall, and many others can identify but probably afraid to do so. And this is what we're trying to do. We're not watching numbers. We are trying to be effective, right? And we will get there because we are here trying to show people, unless you emancipate your mind, you're not going to get no result. So I'm blessed to be a part of tonight. Thank you, CC. You've done a wonderful job. I see your husband buy you a nice wig. And yes, the wig match.
Go ahead, Sister Alicia. 30 seconds.
Cece, I must commend you, commend you for putting in the work and the time. But it's very important that you acknowledge that you were the problem and you seek help. So I must say that thumbs up to you, and also thumbs up to your counselor. Because without the counselor, you would not have had that confidence in yourself to acknowledge that there was a problem. So it always okay to seek help. It's always important to know, what, I am not myself and I need an intervention somewhere, but trust somebody for that intervention.
I thought CC wake up point is when that counselor said, "You're crazy."
Madam Counselor, go ahead. 30 seconds.
Truly, I think the message here is strong, that do not try to solve your problem within your own self. Because if you got mess going up there, mess going on in there, guess what? You're just going to throw in the mess. So it's good to get someone. You don't have to be a counselor, but you could get somebody that you can trust, someone that understand what's going on and be objective, not picking side, and not be afraid to tell persons that, well, this is and get it on both sides. Try to weigh it, as much as you can. Because sometimes people come in with their problem, but they don't tell you what they're doing. And so you have to diagnose and really dig in, as Alicia know, that you have to really dig on in to find out what the truth is. And when you do find out what the truth is, you realize, oh my gosh, this is the man in the mirror here. But yeah, so I hope that persons will really get the message that let's get some help and let be better people.
Thank you, thank you, thank you to each and every one. Sister Kayon, don't know if she's still listening in. I know she is busy with baby boy. I just want to say thank you. And yes, we must acknowledge. Don't One of the things that the counselor had asked me, what scale on a scale of 1 to 10, where were you then and where you are now? Then I was at 2. Don't wait for your situation to get to 2 before you seek help. Try as soon as you see things are going in the wrong direction. Try to communicate with your partner and try to seek help so that you don't go so far back. At least the great thing is that Cece loved her husband and she knew that her husband loved her. So it was easier to bounce back even from a level 2. When people make things get so bad to the point where they're disliking each other and they're hating ways about each other and stuff like that, sometimes it's very, very hard and it takes much work to repair when it goes so far. So look at the me in the mirror, see where you have contributed to the problem and see what you could do to contribute to make life better for you, your spouse, your family, your coworkers, other friends, other relative, and just do your best to be the change that you want to see.
Amen.
And I don't think Sister Kayon is going to come. On behalf of Sister Kayon and the team, we just want to say thank you to each and every one who came on tonight. You stayed with us throughout the course of the program. We do appreciate you. God bless you. See you tomorrow morning on our Good Morning Jumpstart. Have yourself